Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Alakazam Video Blog. So David,
hey,
we haven't been here for a few weeks.
We haven't.
Is it 2 weeks, 1 week?
I think it's a week and a bit. I had Andy here last time.
Yes.
You were very busy, so we took the reins, as we say. But we are back together. Ah. And you sound happy about that.
I am, yeah, I'm ecstatic.
Brilliant, thanks. We've been taking a look at a few products, but mainly we've been getting ready for Blackpool.
Yes. Now this is in the Magic Dealers calendar. You tend to find that less product come out around about this time because people hold back for the Blackpool convention.
Yeah.
So there have been some new products coming in. One of the ones which I was really excited about was Unreal by Joshua J. This is a 4-disc set. Now, I'm a big fan of Joshua J. I've known Josh for quite a few years. I think his magic is good. I think his presentation is good. His thoughts behind, I mean, not good, excellent. I mean, you know, everything about Josh's magic just ticks all the boxes for me.
It's so well routined, isn't it?
Yeah, it's...
I'm not just talking about this, I'm talking about Josh's stuff in general.
In general, yeah. I mean, I've sort of been following his career since he was a little lad. I mean, I remember bumping into him at the international convention when he was about 14 doing a lecture or a performance or something, and he was great back then. But I was really excited about getting this. They turned up Monday. I took a copy home yesterday, and to be fair, I don't usually find time to sit down and watch DVDs. I'll have a DVD in my house for weeks before I get round to watching it. With this, I made sure I put it straight on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. On disc 1, you've got his stand-up show. So he's presenting to quite a big audience, and it's all his stand-up magic. And what I found really interesting was that he was doing quite a few card tricks, and they play fantastically on stage. I mean, that was a big audience.
What, 200 odd people?
It must have been at least. And they played fantastically. And the other great thing is a lot of the magic was actually really easy, very effective, but really, really easy. And you know, I'll be honest, when I'm watching the routines, there wasn't a huge amount that fooled me, but then I wouldn't really expect it to. No. Purely because I know, you know, the methods he's used.
But I remember you saying, I think the first thing you said to me this morning after you after you watched it was that you felt very inspired by the whole project.
Greatly inspired. Do you know what? There was the first trick, because we sat down and watched a bit of one of the routines, which was the time travel or going back in time or whatever it was called. And to be fair, the routine, the actual doing the routine is so simple. The actual trick, if it was in the hands of a novice performer not watching this, then the actual trick, i.e. think of a card, it's gone, will last 10 seconds. He's created a big 4 or 5 minute performance piece where, you know, his watch vanishes and appears back on his wrist. It's the whole premise, which I thought was beautiful, was about doing a trick backwards. So I'm going to find a card before it's even picked, and it was really, really good. And I honestly felt really inspired, so much so, I haven't told you this morning, but I actually started writing a new little close-up set. not using any of the material on here, even though I will at some point use some of this material because I think it's great. But he just got me inspired to put it together. His
stuff is so well structured that, you know, even watching his an hour-long show, is it?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. Even just watching that show, the way from beginning to end, there's no big illusions. It's just a nice, packed, small, play massive show.
Yeah.
And his presentations to it are superb. And so just watching the performance alone got me inspired to want to watch the explanations, and as you said, some of it's very, very straightforward.
Yeah, and
you can play it so big.
The other thing, last night I watched some of his parlour routines, his close-up routines. I will say a majority of what's on this disc is cards.
Right.
A majority. Now, whether that's cards with, you know, a watch vanishing and appearing back on, there might be other things thrown in.
Yeah.
But the basis is sort of cards. But he has got he's got a fantastic Bill-in lemon routine, which is most probably the easiest Bill-in lemon routine I've ever seen yet. It's really effective. And
the presentation takes it in another direction, which is really nice.
It's really, really good. No switching of lemons or anything else. It's real world stuff. That's the thing. It's real world stuff. He does a brilliant trick. Now, I remember seeing a trick many years ago by Jerry Sadowitz, which used a double blank deck. Wayne Dobson brought out a version. Josh J has got a version which he built from a John Lovick trick. Now, basically what it is, Josh's presentation once again is phenomenal, and he's talking about, you know, once he was hired to perform magic to a blind person, and he didn't know what sort of tricks to do. He couldn't do a standard pick a card trick, so they wouldn't be able to see the card and everything else. So he starts talking about how he devised this trick for that person. So that's basically the premise. But the idea is he hands you a deck of cards, and he says, in a moment, I want you to think of a number and a suit. Just get that in your mind. Now, I want you to let everyone know what card you're thinking of. But obviously, if you were to say it out loud, maybe I could hear you. Even if I was to go out of the room and come back in, maybe someone could tell me. So what we're going to do is you're going to let everyone know by, I'm going to turn my head, you're going to pick up the cards. If you're thinking of an ace, you deal down one card. If you're thinking of a two cards, three cards, and so on. Once you've got your number and everyone knows, you drop the rest of the deck on top, but I'll turn my head. So he turns his head. Then he says, have you done that? Yes. Okay, now we're going to go on to the suit. If it's a club, put down one card. Heart, two. So they do that. So at this point, he's not looking, he's not peeking, nothing else.
But the audience knows now what card this one person is thinking the card.
So this card only exists in their mind. And he says, I'm going to try and go through this deck and find the card that you're thinking about. So he just starts rummaging through the deck, and then he pulls out one card and puts it down. He says, but remember, this all happened in your imagination. That's why there were never any cards. And he spreads the cards out, and every single card has got a blank face, every single card. And he says, for the first time, what was the card you were thinking of? They say the two of hearts, or whatever it is, the two of hearts on there. But whatever it is, he turns it over, and that's the only card in the pack. And it's superb. The original version, there was never, as far as I'm aware, as far as I can recall, there was never a revelation of the card at the end. You would literally just name it. Whereas he's added that, and it's such a brilliant visual moment. He
performed that at the session. And I want to say, I might be wrong in saying this, but I want to say that he combined that last spread with the Phantom deck that he has.
He doesn't on here, and there wouldn't be a reason to do that. I think you might be thinking of Prism. Because he does, because he's also got, I've just picked myself up one of his Prism decks, which I think is phenomenal. And I picked that up after watching this, even though we've stocked it for ages. And even though I've said 100 times, I don't think you can get anything more powerful than a colour changing deck. I've never really played with his Prism deck. And when I watched his performance on here,
it is brilliant.
It's really, really good. And the other thing, and I haven't watched the Prism deck DVD yet, but on here, Josh does a sort of whole set, i.e. if you were doing a walk around set, you're only going to have 5 minutes with the people. he done that whole 5 minutes just with the prism.
So you get 2 or 3 tricks before you get that reveal.
Yeah.
And then I know the prism deck is designed to do multiple things. So.
Yeah, it's really, really clever. I could talk about this for ages. I really could. It's one of the only DVDs that have come out in the last couple of years that I've been really, really excited about. I mean, you've been working here for a year. You've known me for years.
Yeah.
You've heard me mention it. Is it in yet? Is it in yet? I mean, I genuinely was excited to get it, and to me, it's not cheap. It's £100 for 4 discs, but personally, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah, it's not the physical value, it's the value. You'll get the information and everything on there. You can't really put a price on.
Yeah.
This is all the majority of Josh's thinking and routines and performance, and you can't put a price on that. Luis has, and it's £100, but what I'm saying is, it might seem expensive, but for what you're getting, it's definitely worth it.
It's really good. The Hitchcock effect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
you are right. You could go through, and each of these things could have been released as their own separate project.
So imagine this. I'm just going to talk about this for a couple of minutes, right? Because this is great. So he gets 4 people up on stage, and he talks about Alfred Hitchcock and the director and how he used to put together these films. And he said now there's something that Hitchcock calls the MacGuffin, which is basically, or MacGuffin or something. I think it's MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, it is. And it's basically a point that all the actors in the movie are leading towards, but they don't know they're leading towards it. So it's sort of the ending. It's the big shock.
Yeah.
So he takes a card out, tears it into 4, puts it down, and then he gets 4 spectators up. They each select a card. He spreads the cards on the table. I'm trying to record this as best I can. But he spreads the cards on the table. They put the cards back anywhere they like.
Yeah.
He then takes the deck, does whatever he does, a snap of the fingers or whatever, and the 4 selected cards now turn face up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He now walks over to the card that he tore up at the beginning.
Yeah.
Brings the pieces up, gives 1 piece to each person, and it's the corner of their card.
Yeah.
And then he takes the cards out of the pack that face up, and the corners are torn off.
Corners all match. Yeah.
It is. Beautiful. It's a great routine, and once again, I mean, obviously, while we were watching it, we were breaking down methods without watching a method.
Yeah.
And there was one part that I said to you, I don't know sort of how he done it. I presume he done it when he walked up.
Yeah.
It's a lot cleverer than that. You're going to love it. I'll tell you in a minute. I forgot to tell you this morning. But it's literally self-working.
Oh wow! Well, I wouldn't expect anything less than Josh. His stuff is superb. If you're looking for stuff, as I've said, it packs small, it plays massive, but just the information in general, you will not be disappointed. In this DVD set.
And he does. There's a lot with all of Luis D'Matos's DVDs. There's always the interview section, but there's also like little clippets about the artist talking about this, that, and the other. And there's lots of these little things where it will just be Josh, and he'll be saying, 3 key things you need to remember about using whatever, this, and this.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there watching it, and even though I've done magic for a long time, it was so inspirational for me. I do get into this phase where you sort of get a little bit magicked out. We're around it all day, we're doing it, and you need, me personally, I need stuff like this to make me go, right, I want to start again. I want to start working again, like working on my act and jazzing things up a bit and everything.
Well, your stage show has been in the writing for years, so it's going to be great when it's finally written. Hopefully this has inspired you to push that forward, which I've been telling you for months.
I've written part of the script.
The intro.
It's ladies and gentlemen.
Peter walks the centre stage. Yeah, brilliant.
So,
back to the topic.
Yep, that is Unreal by Joshua J. That gets my highest recommendation. Whether you're a beginner in magic whether you're a seasoned pro, I think there's going to be stuff on here you're going to use. You're going to love Josh's approach to the magic. You're going to love the routining. You're going to love his presentations. And you're going to love the methods. You know, that's the thing. It's not something that you're going to sit there and go, I'm never going to be able to achieve that.
Yeah.
I haven't come across one thing on here at the moment that I thought that's beyond. I mean, I'm not a finger. I mean, I can do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But I'm no Dan and Dave, so don't laugh. But
at least you're honest.
there was nothing on here that I couldn't do instantly, you know.
So there you have it, guys. As you say, we could go on about this. We're not going to, because we're going to cover other topics. But if you like the sound of that, you will not be disappointed. And that is Unreal by Joshua J.
Right. So the next trick we're going to talk about is a trick that has been in existence ever since Alakazam has been going. I mean, it was about before Alakazam, but one of the first tricks that I actually ever had manufactured for the site was this. And I believe, I'm trying to think if David Blaine did it on TV on his first special. I can't actually remember. There was a big...
I don't know if he did.
Right, there was a big demand for this, or maybe Paul Zennon done it. Someone done it just after Alakazam had started, and there was a big demand for this effect. I mean, the effect is not theirs, it went back years.
Right.
But, you know, obviously someone done it on TV. As soon as someone does stuff on TV, people want it.
Yeah.
So this we've had in stock for years. Now, I know personally this is one of your favourites to carry around.
Yeah.
And I never actually thought about putting this on the vlog until the other night when we were in the curry house.
Yeah.
Right, so we go to this local curry house, and obviously the waiter in there knows we're magicians, so every so often he'll come up and he'll ask to see something, which we show him something. And I've got this little habit of trying to drop David in it.
As you'll recall from one of the stories in an earlier vlog.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this particular day, I really did think I had him, because the waiter brought over the bill, we paid the bill, he brought over the change, and the man said, show me one trick before you go, and I said, David will show you a trick with a coin from the bowl he's just brought over. Not knowing what David was going to do, I thought you were going to do some sort of French drop or something, but he actually did this, which shocked me, because I know it's one of your favourites, but I didn't know you had it on you.
Yeah, yeah. Are we going to say what it is?
Shall we? Do you want to do it first?
Okay, let's go to a close-up shot of this trick. So I'm going to show you something very cool with a borrowed 10p piece. This 10p piece can be examined, and then you can bend it. Now this is actually a good enough souvenir, but if they want to keep it, you can bend it straight back and hand it straight back out. Right,
so that was the close-up. So the trick is
the torn coin.
The torn coin. And what was nice, which is, it's a very old thing, but obviously the bowl was there with a change in it. You had the coin, and you reached in.
Yeah.
So it looked like it come out of the change.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, with these, you get the torn coin, and I left it with them because I know it's going to be a talking point. I know, and I'm ready for when we go back in there and he says, can you put it back to normal? And then I just go, boom, pop it back to normal and give it back to him, you know.
And then you'll get your £8.50 or whatever it was back.
Yeah, but it's worth leaving it with them, you know.
The thing is, sometimes with tricks like that, it's not the type of thing you're going to leave with everyone.
No.
But there are times, and especially with the coin, because we go to that curry house quite a bit, with the coin, you know they are going to come up with it, or they're going to come up and show you it, and go, oh, I've still got it, at which point you can go, oh, give us it back. There you go. And now you've got your coin back, and which is still an amazing piece of magic to them.
Which is going to be so strong for them, because you know what they're like. They show it to all the customers. Every time we go in there, we end up doing it on other customers. You know, so they would have played with that coin,
and you can't bend it back.
And you can't. So I come in and go, thump, hand it straight back, and they go, hold on, and then the next month they're going to be trying to bend it back. You know, but the long and short of this is I always carry a couple of things in that extra little pocket of your jeans.
Yes.
You know, the little square pocket just above the main pocket. And I keep a few things in there, thumb tip being one of them, and this coin being one of them. And I'm glad there was a 10p on the change pot, otherwise it would have been a little coin flurry. But that was such a strong piece of magic, and it blew them away. And I just think you should always have something that you can carry on you that's not a pack of cards, that you can create that moment. And you know, whether it's the bitten coin, a coin unique.
Well, my favourite carry around coin trick is hopping halves.
Yeah, you do it all the time. I love it.
And in fact, we're talking about it, I have got, it's my wallet, I bet I haven't got it in it, there it is.
Nice.
So I literally do, I'm not lying, I carry that with me all the time.
Because you know that it looks so free and organic. Yeah, you're just creating with that, especially lots of magic in one go. With this, that what everyone's looking for, that TV moment of that visual trick, you know, and this really ticks the box. It's not expensive. We're going to give you as well a streaming video of my handling for this. I'm sure it's not revolutionary, but it's got some nice subtleties in it, so you're going to get that as well. But I can't really recommend this higher. It got me out of trouble, but also creates that awesome moment of magic. So.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. And if you want to check out the hopping halves as well on our site, because we use the UK ones, they're called reoccurring coins. And once again, for that, I am going to be filming, we'll mostly feature it on a vlog in a couple of weeks, but I'll be filming my handling all our coin range, because I've got an engineer that's worked for Alakazam for, well, ever since we started. So we have got, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best coin engineer in the UK.
Superb.
What a lot of people don't know is Alakazam, I invented the £2.50p, he manufactures those. And what we're going to do is, throughout the weeks, we are going to be adding streaming videos for all of our coin range, whether it's a coin unique, whether it's the reoccurring coins, the bitten coin, coin in bottle. So we're going to be adding those sort of things. It'll be worth checking out. But yeah, that's the bent coin. It's or torn coin. Right, as you're all ignoring. As you're all most probably aware, in a couple of weeks' time, the Blackpool Convention is taking place. The Blackpool Convention is the biggest magic convention in the world. It is phenomenal. It's fantastically organised by Derek Lever and his team.
It's huge.
It is huge. It's got the biggest dealer room you're ever gonna see. I mean, I think it's 120 plus magic dealers from around the world. It's the thing that all dealers, it's the convention that all dealers look forward to. You find a lot of new releases at Blackpool. It's full of shows, full of lectures. It is just such an incredible, incredible weekend. But for us dealers, it puts us under a bit of pressure, because we always like having new releases for Blackpool, which means just after Christmas, after we've had our Christmas releases, we've got to decide what we're going to have. And then we've got to work very hard trying to get it all ready.
We have, and this year's no different. However, this year we planned some special releases exclusively for Blackpool. Yeah,
well, the way it's going to work was, what we did is, as you know, Alakazam Magic, we are one of the world's largest producers of unique magic, i.e. magic for magicians. I mean, we produce books, DVDs, tricks, downloads. And saying that, actually, if you've got an idea for a trick that you would be interested in releasing, please get in touch with us. Just send us over an email to sales@alakazam.co.uk, hopefully with a YouTube video. It doesn't have to be professionally shot, it's for our eyes only, just to give us an idea of what the trick is, and maybe you can see your name on one of our products soon. But what we did this year is, because we have got quite a big back catalogue of effects that I have purchased the rights to over the last sort of 15 years, and stuff that hasn't come out and stuff that we only purchased the rights of recently. But what we did this year is something we don't usually do, is we sat down and we sort of said, okay, we want tricks that are going to tick various boxes.
Yeah, so not just come up and release 4 card tricks.
Yeah, that are almost identical or whatever it is.
Cards, this pack does that, this pack does that. So we wanted to cover the range of stuff where you get a packet trick, a trick that isn't a card trick, that plays for close-up and cabaret. Another packet trick, but it's completely...
It's a mentalism trick, but it's the type of thing, if you're a mentalist or a magician, it's the type of thing you can carry in your wallet, and it's a great little trick. And the props are beautiful.
And then an awesome close-up card piece, which is lovely. So we kind of ticked a lot of the boxes, and that's what we wanted to do, give you a variety of stuff, all of which I think you could pick and put into your act now. It is hard-hitting, really great magic, so we're excited.
It really is. And the first one we're going to talk about, this week and next week, we're going to show you a couple of the releases, and then you'll have to come to the stand or check out the website to see the others nearer the time. Now, the thing is, not all of these tricks that we're releasing at Blackpool will be released instantly. Usually what happens is whatever we have out at Blackpool goes on general release straight away. That's not going to be the case with these, i.e. maybe 1 or 2 of them will be out as soon as the Blackpool convention's on, but the other 2 might not be till the end of the month or the month after, if that makes sense. So the releases will be staggered purely because we need to get the stuff made and everything else, but we have got a limited amount for Blackpool. It
was either take one trick, release it to everyone and have a huge amount so that we can mass produce, or make up the 4 that we really wanted and do a few amounts, but 4 so that people have a choice.
And it's a good, for us, it's a good showcase as well. And the trick we're going to talk to you about today is a trick by a very talented magician. You may have heard of his name because he's got quite a few downloads out. It's a guy called Daniel Bryan. Daniel first approached me with this idea about 6 months ago. And then he approached us, he showed us the trick, I really liked it, but he said that he had to work on a few bits with it. Then he got in touch with you and you said, Peter, you've got to see it. So we watched it, he made some fantastic changes to it. We got some samples made up. I performed it a couple of times to the guys at the Magic Circle, and it was really, the reactions were great. I mean, I love it anyway. I think it's a great little trick. The reactions it got were great. I done it to one person at the Circle, someone over here. If you've ever been to the Magic Circle, you know, in the sort of bar area, in the club room, you've got various little groups of people sitting down. So I'm doing it over here. Someone seen me from over here, called me over to do it, and then they called me over. And the reaction it got was great. And it's one of those tricks that I can sort of put in the same league as things like NFW. Things like Ace by Richard Sanders. It's that sort of, you get the visual impact and you get magic happening in their hands.
It's brilliant.
Now, I will say with these, with this trick, you get access, like your registration code, access to a streaming video where there's various routines on it. The routine you're going to see on the trailer is at its barest form, i.e. that is what it is. But
there's so many different directions you can go with it. It opens it up into so many nice routines. But you'll see, the bare bones from the starting point really.
You see it all with the only, because I've been performing it, showing people in the shop. I've been performing it to friends. The only thing that I've added is obviously when the cards go, they end up in my pocket. Do you know what I mean? So that will make sense when you see the trailer. So anyway, let's watch the trailer of Gone by Daniel Bryan.
That's insane!
Okay, so that was Gone. That was an exclusive for you guys. You can only see that trailer here on the vlog. So Gone will be available at Blackpool. I believe we're going to have about 100 units of it, so they won't last long, I shouldn't think. So come up to the stand if you're going to Blackpool. Also, what we're going to do is next week we're going to show you at least another one of the Blackpool releases.
Yeah.
And there's also a re-release of one of my favourite products ever to be released by Alakazam Magic. Yeah. So I'm really glad that's been off the market for I think about 3 or 4 years. It's something I still carry to this day. It's something I still...
so bad with it the other day. You did. You really did.
It is awesome. Yeah. It really, really is awesome. So this is something that I'm really excited about, whether you're a magician, whether you're a mentalist, whether you're a hobbyist, whether you're a professional, whether you do stage, close-up, cabaret, parlour, anything. It's gonna suit it all. Yeah. So we'll talk about that next week, but thank you so much as always for joining us on the Alakazam Video Blog.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
Please make sure you're following us on all the usual places. You know them, but I'll say them just for you and you.
And me.
Facebook, Twitter. Of course, subscribe to this vlog channel, which is just about here. If you touch there, subscribe. So yeah, that's about it for this week.
Can I just rant on just for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, why not?
Once again, don't forget, if you've got an idea for a trick, a DVD or a download, please just email us at sales@alakazam.co.uk and just put in the subject line trick submission or idea submission. And if you can, it doesn't matter what the quality of the video is, it's for our eyes only. We won't be sharing it, but it gives us an idea of what the trick is, and we will get straight back to you if it's something we believe will fit into the Alakazam range. And who knows, next year we could be talking about your trick.
Oh,
maybe even next month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, there we go, guys. We'll see you next week on the Alakazam Video Blog.